All right. All right. All right. All right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah. Coming this evening with a short message. Hopefully, it'll be short. Let me say it like that. Coming with a message titled, Just Deal with Yourself. Just deal with yourself. I think that'll work. If we can work on dealing with ourselves, things might feel better for us. We might even pull closer to spirit and truth because we constantly dealing with others, even the issues that is before us. Even though we're not of the world, we're still yet in it. So the issues even of the world itself is more than enough. But I think that if we are going to be here, it's time we start dealing with self. And what I mean by that is looking within you. And I think you'll find a lot of things about you never know because you haven't given yourself a chance to know you. Because you hear what everyone else is saying and it keeps you from really knowing you. So let's deal with yourselves and work on you. And you'll find out that there's a lot invested in you that you never knew. But like I say, the cares of this world and the things that's therein keeps us from focusing on ourselves, not understanding when Yah come, that's what he's coming to get, what belongs to him. So we ourselves have to be about us, ourselves. He didn't say I was coming to get you and your family and your family and your family and your family. He didn't tell you that. I know that's the way even Judah teaches it. You know what? It keeps people from judging themselves and dealing with themselves because it allowed them to believe you in there no matter what. Most people don't even know themselves. They haven't gotten to know themselves because they look at the flesh and they think that's them. But no, you got an inner man that's really who you are. He tried to tell us when he spoke of we fight not against flesh and blood. He's letting you know the fight is not the flesh and blood. It's the spirit that fights up against other spirits. And while they're fighting up against the spiritual battle, the flesh is just out here acting a fool, having a Wayne Dang doodle time. So let's start dealing with ourselves, looking within us and finding that inner man and see who that inner man dealing with. See if that inner man has a best friend that keeps it head level, the head of your spirit, your own spirit, keeps it level. Who is that? You. It's your inner man. It's a sad thing that thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years and thousands of years and many more have gone by. And we don't know anything about ourselves because we think of ourselves as what we are in the flesh. So I said to you, just deal with yourself. And I'm speaking to the inner man, not the outer. Prepare yourself for the coming of Yah. Prepare yourself in spirit and in truth. Prepare yourself to stand in the midst of the light. Because our energy is drawn to people, to individuals, and issues that can't help us in where we stand. It can't help us, y'all. And it takes us so far on the deep end, we lose ourselves. We really do. So I think we need to just deal with ourselves. And I mean that inner man. Find out who your inner man is. Find out, does your inner man have a bestest friend in there somewhere? Find out more about your inner man. And that I say all this week, find out about the inner man. And you'll find out that you mean to tell me all these thousands of years it never was about the flesh? No. Well, that's what people cherish. They cherish what they could see, what they believe on the outside to be all that answer, to where they haven't gotten to know who they really are. Because who they are is on the inside. And it's not the outside, which is the flesh. I want to say to you all, I did drop in the description box, a title of the phone, the spiritual phone counseling. The time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I also dropped the phone number. I told you all I was going to do that, and I made sure that I got that done. And in the process of having that done, I ran up on a young man. He had to have been probably in his early 30s, and we just had a really, really good conversation. And what I learned was, and yes, I learned something. I learned that they are truly those that are out there that have not found the way to the narrow gate, but they're seeking it. That's a beautiful thing. Because this man, we talked, he left his register, followed me all the way toward my direction, going toward the door, just talking. He just didn't want to let me go. He didn't want to let me go. He asked me for my phone number. I couldn't give him my phone number. I couldn't give him that. But the man was the type of person that he judges himself. He talk about, I don't know why I'm like this. I don't mean to judge people. I don't mean it. That's not even the type of person I am. But when I deal with people, it's like I know them. It's something about them that I know, and I speak what I know of them. And to them, it's like I'm judging. I said, because you have that spiritual gift, that spiritual ability to stand before someone and know who they are. And the way this man was talking, I mean, I haven't ran up on that ever. Not like that, y'all. So it reminded me of what the Father said. I did give him the page to my YouTube, though. Told him, come join us. But I didn't give him the number. But he didn't even want to let me go. And that's what I'm talking about, y'all. This is the type of people I'm yearning to run up on. Why? I don't want to. I want to see them before I leave off this earth. Those individual y'all say that is heading to the narrow gate. They just having a little problem getting there because this old world got them thinking that they are the wrong ones. They are the darkness. They are the evil. They are the wicked. But it's the opposite way around. And I can understand why they would feel that way. Because I was, when I got in the car, I was talking to the Most High Yah, and I said, wait a minute now, Father Yah. If they didn't switched right into wrong and wrong into right, if they have made bitter into sweet and sweet into bitter, light into darkness and darkness into light, it's been switched how long? He's telling me since the beginning of time. That's how long it been switched. I said, so that's how Satan was able to master. Because I ain't going to tell y'all no lie on that. I ain't going to sit here and tell y'all Satan has not mastered deceiving the whole world, because he has. He has mastered deceiving the whole world. And that's, I said to the Father, that's how he did it. It was switched. He said, you know how man took the dominion that I gave woman? That's how easy it was, Deborah. I was saying, but wait a minute, hold up, Father Yah. They did that in Genesis 1. When that's how long they been doing it. You gave her dominion in Genesis 1. About time 2 came in, her whole purpose was snatched from her when he said that's how far you can go back. That's a lot of living, Father Yah, when that's how easy it was for Satan to deceive the whole world. That's how easy it was for right to be wrong and wrong to be right. Did not Adam and Eve created perfect? Everything was given to them from my mighty right hand, perfect on the earth. But they went to what? The opposite. Even after they were told not to. This is how long, Deborah? I'm like, wrong has turned into right, and right has turned into wrong. Then if you think that things can balance today, you lost right along with wrong. I mean the real wrong, not the right that's said to be wrong. I mean the real wrong that's pretending to be right. That's how he was able to deceive the whole world already. Already, he's completed his mission. He did it. Just that switch up right there will keep people from finding any way home. Y'all don't know that, but that's the truth. That's why he said, and very few shall do what? Find. Very few shall what? Find life. Very how many? Few shall what? Find. Because that's how they didn't switch what is right to be wrong and wrong to be right. That's what he mean where he's saying it's over, it's finished. Satan has gotten victory. People sitting around here acting like, oh, when we get a new republic, we get a Democrat in there, it's going to get better. You see? Because they have already switched it, and people has lived it, died it, and still today living it in the way it was switched over. That's why they can't see right. And it makes a lot of sense to me. Most people can't even see right because they can't. They so busy seeing wrong, calling it right. So if you go back to Adam and Eve and you think everything he made was perfect, did not he say it was good? He made everything perfect. So how did him telling them not to do, how did they do the opposite? They was putting the start of what you see today. Wrong being right, right being wrong. That's how long. So I said, Father, wait a minute, hold up. If that's the case, that's how Satan won then. Yes, it is. Because he was switched way back in the back. That's why they dropped everything. That's why all the balls were dropped. Because it was switched. That which is right was switched to wrong. And wrong was switched to right. Even a woman's purpose on the earth was switched over. And that was for her to work side by side with man, as far as having dominion over this earth. He said, you can't see that, Deborah? I said, but Father, that's a long time. Yes, I can see it, but that's a long time. He said, Deborah, why do you think I say it's over? I said, oh, there's a lot of reasons, but hey, that's a long time. That's a long time for us been living a lie and running around here thinking it's okay. Living the lie. That's how long. And when he took me there, I was like, there you go. He said, why do you think I said it's over? It's finished. Because it's been switched over. His time is up. A lot of people thinking United Snakes' time is up. He's getting United Snakes down. He's bringing that down because of United Snakes being the residence of Satan. His seat is on this land. Do he control with evil the four corners? Sure he does. But he got the flesh of men doing it. That's who he had in the garden. And a lot of people did not know it. It was the men he had. He knew the weak link, and it was men. So if you ever thought to just sit back for 1 week, look at all the events that's taking place, look at all the evil at its highest, you're going to only see men behind it. And out of everyone you see, you might see a woman doing the darkness or the evil. That's how deep it is. But you know what? They didn't switched it. So they didn't switched it and made right wrong and wrong right. So you can't convince nobody of nothing. That makes a lot of sense to me. Why he said it's over. Why it is finished. Because everything been switched out of the order way back. And that's how easy it was for Satan to deceive the whole world. That's how easy it was. So we today need to learn to deal with self. Because when he comes, it ain't about everybody else you deal with. It ain't about who you think this person is or this person is and this person is. It's who you think and know that you are, self. Because if we really, listen to this, y'all, if Sister Deborah really focus on self, she can kick a lot of this other mess to the curb. She can kick a whole bunch of stuff to the curb. And she can be the best that she know that the Father want her to be while he in her. But she has to focus on self. She has to know what's best for her. And that it's okay to look for self in Yah, in me. And not saying and hoping that Yah is in everybody else. Focus on you. Know him yourself. Have a personal relationship with the Most High Yah within yourself. A lot of us want to get everybody ready. You can't. How ready did the Father have Adam and Eve in the garden? Anybody know? Yep, he deceived them from the beginning and never looked back. I don't know. What was that I just asked? I just asked a question. Anybody heard? Did anybody hear it? I sure forgot it just that quick. And it was a good question. I just got it. I started reading and I forgot the question that I just that quick. But yes, it'll come back. Adam and Eve. What could we say that was not perfect? Yah created Adam and Eve and placed them right down in right there in everything that was good in Yah's eyes. And even when he told them what wasn't good and they are not to take of it, really, it was really entertaining it, meaning mental, mind-wise. And they took of it. That's how long right has been wrong and wrong has been right. It gave them a way to take from Genesis 1, where he said man and woman have dominion. They took from it. Oh, how ready did the Father have Adam and Eve in the garden? How ready? That was the question. How ready did Yah have Adam and Eve? What level of readiness from 100 to 1? 100% to 1%. How ready was Adam and Eve? Anybody in the life? Between 1% to 100%. How ready were they? 100. There you go. Ain't that deep? Ain't that deep? 100%. And they flipped into wrong after being ready. Woo, Father Yah. By the Most High Yah, 100%. You see that? You see that? So when he saying to me, he was saying something to me about when you hear me saying it's over, it's finished. Now do you see how long it been like that? I was like, that's a long time. And that's what also bothers me in this day and time. People have not changed. People have not tuned in to what is really going on today. And it's been going on since yesterday, which is the beginning. Because when it's telling you, I think it's in Isaiah. Is it Isaiah 5? Let me get it. I think it is. Let me see if I can pull that up. It might not be in Isaiah, but I think it's Isaiah chapter 5. Let me check and see. It might not be. But that's a chapter. That's a verse I should hold very firm to. Very firm. No, this is, it's not. No, this is not. It's not chapter 5. Wait a minute. Isaiah 4. That's 4. It's but it's in Isaiah. It's where they turn. Yes, it is. Isaiah. Let's go there. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 5 and verse 20. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 20, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness to be light and light to be darkness. That put, look at the word. You can see they converted it, y'all. They convert it over to the opposite. And it says that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. That is telling you that it was converted all this time. It's been converted. So tell me, what can you do with a world that has converted everything the Father has created, and in the order in which he have created have been flipped to the opposite of what he created it to be? You tell me that ain't deep. Look at being homosexual. You created to be a man, and here you walking around here trying to be a woman. He created her to be a woman. She's walking around here trying to be a man. Let's go to animals. People are treating animals like they're human. Yeah, I'm talking about everything. We have totally reversed everything from the beginning, from the way of righteous in the righteous eyes of the Father, and we have converted it to that which pleases and pleasure us, and never took it back the right way it was created. And he said, Deborah, this went on way back in the beginning. I'm like, hold up now, Father. Way back there? He said, yeah, why would you think that I say it's finished? This been converted long time ago. And this is why people cannot come up with what is righteous. Because what they made, they took righteous and made it unrighteous, so that they can do unrighteous and call it righteous. How can they turn dark into light and light into dark? They made the darkness what is right and made the light what is wrong. That's how. And this is what people are walking in, up and down in this world, even to this very day. And that's why he says that this day, in this day, because it is worse than what it was yesterday, meaning in the beginning. And I'm like saying, okay, how can it get any worse if they convert right to be wrong and wrong to be right, dark to be light, and light to be dark, bitter to be sweet, sweet to be bitter? How can it be any better? It can't. That's why it's over. That's why it's over. And people still could care less. Now you can see why it can't continue in a way that Yah is going to send something different. What you want him to send? Who you want him to send? He ain't sending another nowhere. You're going to have to deal with what he has already sent, because they were created to work in this midnight darkness, in this evil time period. And like I say all the time to the Father, you say the best for last. Even though we're going to long suffer and endurance, have to endure, meaning we're going to have his patience. And that's what he gives us, patience to endure. That's why you have to find the narrow gate. But notice what you just said. That's going back to the topic of this message. You see, you say here, that's why you have to find the narrow gate. Notice what you say, that matches the message. We need to not work. If it ain't that we need to work on self, we need to, we need to deal with self. Understand that you are not perfect. Forgive yourself. Forgive your own self. So what? Nobody don't forgive you. Who gives a rat's behind? Forgive your own self. Don't wait for somebody to forgive you. Forgive your own self. Judge yourself daily, that no man may judge you. If we would take out the rest of our living and be about dealing with ourselves, we don't even understand what type of light we can be no matter where we go, especially in our household, especially in our communities, and in our extended families, and in our friends, among our friends. People trying to figure out, they ain't trying to figure out nothing. But the truth be told, wonder why people light ain't shining? Because they not dealing with themselves. They trying to make sure everybody else shining, and they not dealing with themselves. It's time to just deal with yourself. Tell yourself it's okay. David told the father, this. Everybody have done things that did not please y'all and that wasn't righteous. So you have to release yourself and say, wait a minute, okay, well, what make me feel that I should be perfect? Sinless. You can't be in a time like this. It's like no other. I think about how people haven't been able, I'm going to say this to y'all, and I know y'all don't know this. Many people have no idea that the way Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, David, Solomon, and all the men of y'all ain't even seen nor heard the things that they have done. It wasn't left for you to know it. You see? So that's why we can't look at them and think that they were excluded. No, they were included as you are in sin, in iniquity, and wickedness. Didn't David say that? Yes, he did. He told the Father, right in your eyes am I. Sister Deborah is speaking of just deal with yourself. Don't be trying to deal with others. Let how you deal with yourself be the light that you turn on. And let your light shine, that everybody around you, your best friend, everybody around you will know who you are, because they will see that light in you shining. They will see it. You know how it says we were the light that set upon a hill that cannot be hidden? That's the same thing I'm saying. If you work with self, you can light the light that's in you. You have to walk in yourself. You have to talk in yourself. You have to preach in yourself. You see? You have to teach in yourself. Deal with self and be the best that you know how to be, without thinking that it's being self, being perfect, excellent. No, it's being self, working with you. And Yah sees this, and it would delight him. Because a lot of us are dealing with others and putting so much of our strength into getting others to understand, to believe, to see who we are, and to see how we study, and see how we understand, and see how we get it. Deal with yourself. Self. Don't worry about somebody understanding you, believing you. Don't worry about that. Because if you're working with yourself and you dealing with yourself, then that's all you need to let your light shine. Nobody on the outside. Because y'all ain't telling nobody that you going to take everybody with you because you shine. No, that ain't what he said. That's why we have to deal with ourselves and let Yah deal with everything else around us when we let the light of who he is shine in us, that the world may see him through us. And they too will see the light shining, representing the Father himself. And that's no matter where you at your workplace, at your school, when you in the store, in your home, among your family members. They know that there's something about you that's not like them because you're focusing on self. And that self is your spirit, man. Sometimes it's hard to forgive yourself. But if you're truly remorseful, the Father will help you with this. Yes, that's true. That's true. That's true. And a lot of times it's hard for you to forgive yourself. But it's easy for you to forgive somebody else. So that's where you have to go back to the drawing board. Everything has to start with you. We can't forgive no one if we can't forgive ourselves. Because ourselves have to forgive someone else. But how can you forgive someone else and it's hard for you to forgive yourself? That means you can't forgive nobody because you first start with self, forgiving yourself. You know why Sister Deborah is dealing with just deal with self? Because if Yah already dealt with us and we were, he said we should be, when we in this flesh, our flesh is telling us we can't forgive yourself, you flesh. No, but the spirit of who the Father in the kingdom is has already forgiven me. So what do I say to him? That has already forgiven me, that has already redeemed me, that has already lived in me. When the Holy Spirit reside in you, oh, let me tell you, him communing with your spirit would teach you how to forgive yourself in your own spirit, so your own spirit can get your flesh under the subjection to it. Because your flesh don't want you to be forgiven, don't want you to forgive yourself. But always look at it like, if I can't forgive myself, how can I forgive another? You can't. Because forgiving yourself is a form of omitting things that's not perfect within you. You see, it's telling us, like me going before, oh, I do it all day long, yeah. Going before the throne of the Father, just telling him about who I am and how it doesn't match who he is. Because I'm dealing with self. And I want to be pleasing to him. And if he said to me that I forgive you, then why is it my flesh won't let me forgive me? Forgive myself. Because that's how powerful the flesh is against the spirit. It won't let you shake it. It won't let you go. It wants to hold you down so you won't be able to just let go and know that Yah, if Yah has to let go, why are you holding? Why must we hold what he didn't let go? He wants us to hear this message tonight and understand, just deal with thyself. We need to deal with ourselves, y'all. So when he come, we can get up out of here. When we come and he takes us out, guess what? We're going out with a lot of still things that's not pleasing to him. You see? But yet, he's still going to allow you to go out. So at least if we just work on self now, if he's willing to take me out to Mount Zion the way that I am, praise the mighty Yah. I want to work on myself right now, Father. I want to work on me. And working on you is a form of judging yourself daily. That's what it is. You already know the things that you are still doing, things you're still saying. Oh, this is a big one. Things you're still feeling that needs to be brought to the altar and owned. And when you own it, you let it go. This is what I'm speaking of when I'm saying just deal with yourselves. Because we're dealing with all the issues and all the cares of the world, and we are bypassing our inner man. Because we figure, oh, he got this. Yeah, he got it. But who's to say you will live to go to Mount Zion? Deal with yourself that no man will be able to judge you, because you're going to be in dealt with your own self. And they ain't going to even want to judge you. They ain't going to even want to bring judgment against you. They ain't going to even find judgment nowhere near you, because you didn't judge yourself so sharp where no man will judge you or shall judge you, because you already didn't judge yourself. A lot of people don't know that they could do that, but yes, you can. It's called owning that thing. That's where it started. And if the Father then told us that he has redeemed us, then it's a lot of things about us we can let go, because he has set us to liberty. He has pardoned our sin. He has pardoned our sin. Do we keep going back? Yep. But because he redeemed us back, that was the whole idea of holding us blameless in his eyes. And we blaming ourselves because we don't know how to just forgive ourselves. We don't know how to just deal with ourselves, because we got so many issues and so many people and so many individuals that we've been dealing with and we have to deal with, because we got family, we got a wife, and we got a husband, we got mom, and we got dad, we got siblings, we got neighbors, we got so many things we have to deal with, and we always bypass dealing with self. And it's important to really work from within. Work with self. Learn that your spirit, if you have the Ruach abide in your spirit and your spirit in his. And you all are one. But there's another entity outside of you all. That's that flesh. That's when you deal with that, you deal with that through your spirit. You deal with it. Why can you defeat your flesh? Because greater is he that's in you, that's detached to your spirit. And he'll teach you how to get your flesh under the subjection to your spirit. Because the flesh is what battles 24/24. It keeps you from even gripping the hem of Yah's garment, because it wants to fully control you 24/24. Yep, it's a part of owning it. Yep. And a lot of people, do you see what you said? You said the flesh war against the spirit. Now, a lot of people don't even understand that, because they're thinking that that's that. You know how I said some are born of the flesh. Those that are born of the flesh is of the flesh. Those that are born of the spirit is of the spirit. They would take that, what you just said, and they think that that's it. No, he's talking about each and every human being's flesh war against their own spirit. Every one of us, our flesh war against our spirit. That's why you have to deal with self to come in to deal with this flesh, because your spirit contain that flesh. That's what he said. Get your flesh under. Here's your flesh right here. Here's your flesh. Get it under the subjection to your spirit. Your spirit is here. What do your spirit has? It has the ruach in it. So this here got to stand down. The flesh got to stand down. And we have to constantly recognize our spirit, because that's where Yah abide, in our spirit. Okay, remember, this is Satan's world, and he must remind us every day that we are guilty, and the Father will never forgive us. Yeah, but just think, can Satan take over our mind to the point of causing us to be so guilty when the Ruach is in us? You think Satan can really tempt us to that level when the Holy Spirit is in us? He really can. See, at that point, when the Ruach come to live in you, only thing Satan can tempt or interfere with is the flesh. Because Yah has claimed, here's your spirit. Now, here's your spirit. Yah has claimed your spirit. That's where he abides. So the only thing Satan can mess with is your fleshly mind. And as far as guilt, the power of who Yah is would set you free. But the tricks of Satan to this flesh, that's why the flesh is battling the spirit. Because that's where they warring against each other. But your spirit is willing. Your spirit falls under the Ruach. Satan can't come in there and tempt you by the spirit. He can only tempt you by the flesh. Okay? Not if we have the Ruach. Oh, no, you saying the same thing. Exactly. Because it's like somewhere along the line, we have to, somewhere, it just seemed like somewhere along the line, how could we have the Ruach? And the power of Yah is not potent in us. Like the young man I met today. He didn't have to call on no name of the Most High Yah. He didn't have to say, I got the Ruach HaKodesh, or I got the Holy Spirit. He didn't have to say, I go to this church, I go to this church. Oh, my pastor is this, my bishop is this. He didn't have to say nothing. And that I didn't have to say nothing to him. Why? Why was that? Why was that going on? A total stranger. Why was that? Him and I was so on one accord because it was a spiritual thing. And he called it out. He said, it's the realm of the spirit, ain't it? I said, yes, sir, it is. And that's what a lot of people don't know about. They know about the realm of the flesh, but they don't know about the realm of the spirit. That's the realm that Yah gives you and separate you from the world, because he got you in a different realm, a realm that you can understand things so clear. You can embrace and salute and own stuff because you got him in you, and that's the realm of the spirit, dealing with your spirit, getting your spirit prepared to get your flesh under the subjection to it. So him and I didn't say nothing about no denomination. We didn't say nothing about no name. See, that's what I was talking about. Those are the type of people I'm waiting for y'all to pull up on me. People who can just come out of nowhere and don't have to say nothing. We already know who we are among each other. That's what I'm talking about. Why? Because it's the spirit that discern the spirit. The spirit can talk to he that have a spirit. Let me give you an example. What got him was this. I shouldn't have did it, but I did it anyway, y'all. Please forgive me. I know I shouldn't have did it, but I did it anyway. He told me they got a lot of people in his family that's into church and different, different church, like Baptist, Pentecost. His family, a lot of people in the family. He say when he go and he visit them and they be call himself inviting him, he said he don't how uncomfortable it is to him. He said they would always put their hand, the pastors, he was talking about the men at that time, when they put their hand on me, ma'am, they always said, woo, woo, you got that anointing. You got that energy of an anointing. And he says several of his family members, when he visit their places that they go, this is what they have said to him. I said, do you understand? I know I shouldn't have went there, y'all. I did it anyway. I asked him, do you understand? You know what he said? No, not really. But they said that I got the anointed. I got that energy, that spiritual energy. They always touching my shoulder and they always rub on my back and they say, woo, I can feel that energy. I can feel that spiritual energy. You know what I told them? I don't care what y'all say about Sister Deborah. I told him, I said, do you understand why? He said, no, not really. I know they always telling me I got it. I said, let me tell you what it is. The reason why they can feel the energy floating through you is because they don't have it. See, energy, spiritual energy with spiritual energy don't need to be recognized. My energy don't need to recognize his energy because we're the same energy. I said the reason why they're always touching you and saying you got that spiritual anointed energy is because they don't have it. And when you don't have it, you can feel something. You can feel it because you don't have it. That's what you're feeling. But if they had that spiritual energy and they touch you, they wouldn't feel it because they got the energy too. But the reason why they're saying that you got the energy because they don't have it. And when they touch you, they can feel the energy. You see? You know how that lady touched the hem of his garment so she could be made whole? You see? That's all I'm talking about. You see? I'm serious, y'all. That's the reality of it. You see? The power that came out of him. It wasn't the power that she had. It was the power that came out of him. It wasn't that she had it. And that's exactly what I was explaining to him. I didn't have to take it there. I'm taking you all there with that one. But when I told him, because we was laughing at it, because we were talking about how he was saying that they think they really got it and they have it, and they've been telling me that for years. And I said, yeah, when they touch you and feel yours, it's because they don't have it. and they feeling yours. But if they had it, then they wouldn't be able to feel that you have the energy, because if they had the energy and you have the energy, y'all got the same energy. You see, they feeling it because they don't have it. Same thing with the lady with the issue of blood. She didn't have no hope, no nothing. But if I can just touch the hem of that garment, truly I will be made whole. You see, because of what came out unto her, not because she had it already. It's what came out unto her. That power, that energy, as they say. You see, that anointing. Woo-wee. That's deep. That's the reality, okay? Not if we have the Ruach living, okay? What she had was faith. Which one was that? The lady with the issue of blood. The one that had the issue of blood. I wouldn't say she really had the faith, even if it says she had it. You want me to tell you why? She was made whole from her sickness. I don't think she was made whole for eternity. You get what I'm saying? So her being made whole was her flesh, her disease was healed. You see? Her touching the garment was because he was known as one that was a healer. He was traveled. See, this is another thing. And I thought that was pretty sad too. When pull up that verse in that chapter of her touching the hem of his garment and she was made whole. Let's see exactly. Is it her faith that made her whole? Or was it the power that came out of Yeshua that made her whole? Because let me explain something to y'all. When I was young and I used to read it, I couldn't understand why they just only believe you based on the signs and wonders. They followed you, Father, in the Son, all because of your power. They wasn't following because they were a believer or they had the faith. They was following because of the signs and wonders. Mm-hmm. Do you all know that there was a whole bunch of disciples following Yeshua and they faded away? No matter how, thank you, no matter how much miracles and signs he had, they were also joined as disciples, but they fell away. They fell away. Why? Because they were there for the miracle signs and wonders. They wasn't there for the full deliverance from the inside out. They were there for the outside, the miracles and signs and wonders. So many fell away. And a lot of y'all won't even do your study and see. A lot of them fell away. A whole lot of them. Okay, let's go to Matthew's chapter 9. And Matthew's chapter 9 and verse 20. Let's go to verse 19. In the book, and we're just going to see. Okay, we're going to see, was this woman delivered beyond her disease, or just was it her disease? Let's go. Matthew's chapter 9 and verse 19. And Yeshua arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. And verse 20, we in Matthew's chapter 9 and verse 20. And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched the hem of his garment. Verse 12. For she said within herself, if I may touch the hem of his garment, I shall be made whole. But Yeshua turned him about. And when he saw her, he said, daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith that have made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that very hour. And when, verse 23, and when Yeshua came into the ruler's house and saw the morsel, the minstrel and the people making a noise. Oh no, that's something else. That had nothing to do. Now here, Yeshua told her her faith had made thee whole. So that could be the faith that, was it her faith or faith that is branded that made thee whole? You see, it was her faith, thy faith made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. Now, with this one here, it's, to me, it's still the faith that she believed that if he touched her, it would heal her body. Okay? So it was her believing that if she touched him. So that's that. We got two kind of faith. We got one on the outside and one on the inside, meaning one for the flesh and one for the spirit. As this woman was speaking here, it was really always about her body, the outer man. Okay. And here in verse 22, Yeshua turned him about, and when he saw her, he said, daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith has made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. She was delivered from her illness. So her faith was on her outside. It wasn't the faith of her spirit. He said, thy faith. He letting her know thy faith, meaning you believed if you touched the hem of my garment, that you will be made whole. Why would you say that? Before he announced it, listen to what she said in verse 20. And behold, the woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched him of his garment. And she within herself, so it's talking about her flesh. So that faith is that faith within herself, meaning her flesh. Look at verse 21. For she said within herself that if I but touch his garment, I shall be made whole. The key is herself. And another key is verse 22, where he said, thy faith. Thy faith. That's flesh. That's the faith we have on the outside. So she believed if she touched his garment, that she will be made, her flesh will be healed. Okay, so that's what she's saying here, that her flesh shall be healed. Okay, it wasn't the faith where the Father has branded he in the spirit. Let's put it like that. Okay, so I was just wondering about that. Was it the faith of the spirit or the faith of the flesh? It's the faith of the flesh, because she was touching him. Okay, and when she was touching him, he told her, thy faith. And it says, she said herself. So it's a thing that she had within her. This is a man that has the power to heal. But if I just touch his garment, I should be made whole. She was looking to be made whole meaning delivered from her disease. Many people that he delivered during that time, they went right back to themselves. Mm-hmm. They weren't delivered to the utmost. They were just there to be delivered for the outside. And he was one to also deliver from the outside. It wasn't just the inside. There were those who were delivered on the outside. Okay? So when we speak of dealing with ourselves, let's take on this 2026 and really work with ourselves, and you will feel better about yourself. You'll think different of yourself, and you'll be more relaxed about the choices that you make. You won't put so much into self, because you in the spirit realm, you're trying to be something that God is not asking you to be. Because if he comes in you, he all that you need. You see, he all that you should want. He's all that you should even desire. You see, so we need to deal with self more, because we're dealing with all kind of issues in this world, and a lot of us is still stuck on wrong being right, right being wrong, dark being light, light being dark, sweet being bitter, bitter being sweet. We're stuck on that. And what do you mean by that, Deborah? We're still serving wrong, calling it right. That's why Sister Deborah is saying, just deal with yourself so you can be able to make righteous judgments toward every issue that has to come to your door or come before you, or you somebody might want to talk to you, or you might meet somebody, or you have the words in you because you have dealt with yourself. Now you have prepared yourself to be able to deal with anybody that comes before you, because you judge yourself. You dealt with yourself daily. You see? So I think it's important that, and I don't even think they would even teach that in any place, that we start in this midnight hour, and this is a day like no other. So we know that it's a worse time period. Just dealing with self. I mean, dealing with us, because we'll find out we are doing things we shouldn't be doing. We are saying things we shouldn't be saying. We are thinking things we shouldn't be thinking. All of these things are things that we are actually doing, and we are ignoring it, because right has been turned to wrong, and wrong has been turned to right. Dark has been turned to light, and light has been turned to dark. Meaning the way you should be thinking, the way you should be feeling, the way you should be acting, the way you should be speaking, you don't, because things been flipped over to look as if that way is wrong. Try this way. It's right. You see? And then we begin to live like that. And we think that's all okay. That's all good. No, it's not. But when we deal with ourselves, then we can deal with everything in our household, y'all. Every issue come in that household, we can nail that bad boy. Every issue come outside of that household amongst family, we can deal with it. You see? If we had issues that we have to deal with in the community, we can deal with it. Why? Because we started with us, ourselves. A lot of people want to bypass ourselves and go out and judge the world. A lot of people want to bypass themselves and go out and judge the righteous. But they don't want to bring judgment first and foremost to themselves. They don't want to work with self, because they think self is already got a ticket to the kingdom and the keys in the other hand to the heaven's door. And we know we got a lot of things that we can really deal with within ourselves. And it ain't about trying to be perfect, trying to be something that you can't be. It's no such thing as being sinless. It's no such thing as being perfect. But where can you be perfect? Where can you be perfect? You can be perfect in your spirit, serving a perfect Yah, but you have to work there. You see, you can't be perfect in this flesh. You can hang that up. But in your spirit, you can be perfect. See, y'all didn't know that, did you? Oh, yes. Because if greater is he that is in you, he's what? The perfect one, the perfect creator, the perfect power. He's the perfect one. So if he's in you, you too can be perfect in the way you serve him, the way you worship him, the way you honor him, the way you exalt him, the way you think of him, the way you feel of him. Oh, that's perfect, baby. That's perfect. That's perfect. You in there. You can do that. That's why when I'm saying in, I'm talking about that inner man that's never been talked about, that nobody don't want to talk about. Nobody don't want to talk. They don't want to tackle that inner being because they're so busy getting away with things from the inner and the outer. You see? So I, Sister Deborah, say unto you all, let's work on just dealing with self so we can make a difference in other people's living. You see? I think that's important. Okay. Again, I did open up that phone line for it's called spiritual phone counseling. Okay. And it's with Sister Deborah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays and Sundays. So it's 5 days. It's from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I also have the number down in the description box. When you go to the page, all the information's down. You can jot it down and just put it somewhere where you can always have it, no matter what goes on. I'm here to, first and foremost, to be an ear to hear. I want to hear and be a listener, okay? And I'm going to tell y'all something. You can't be a speaker until you're a good listener. And a lot of people don't know that, but truly, you have to be a good listener to be a good speaker. Don't ever forget that. You have to be a good listener before you're a good speaker. Because to listen to Yah from the spirit realm, you have to hear him. So you have to listen. You have to really listen. And that's why I tell you all, when I tell you I'm in the wilderness, that's my class. That's why I hear him teaching me. You see? And I'm listening to what he's saying, and I can ask questions. I can ask whatever I want. You see? Because it's almost like it's set up for me just to be able to go there and know that that's where I'm taught from that level. Okay. So I, Sister Deborah, appreciate each and every last one of you all in the live chat. I hope you got something out of it. And I will be back. And you all have a wonderful evening. And I say unto you, shalom and shalom.